Unlimited wealth and absolute power will not make you immortal. The true legacy lies in establishing a system that will still be talked about centuries from now, and you are the only one who established that system. 259 BCE. In the kingdom of Zhao, a child was born in the shadow of a hostage. That child is you. Your name is Yingzheng. Your father is a distant prince of the Qin dynasty, currently held as a hostage in another kingdom. You have neither wealth nor security around you. There is only one merchant's shrewd investment, Lu Bue, who sees that you, an ordinary prince, might one day ascend the throne and stakes his fortune on you. This is the first important lesson you learn. Power can be bought with money just as easily as with blood. And now you are 13 years old. You have become a king, but the kingdom is not yet yours. The state is governed under the shadow of Lu Bue and your mother. As the young king, you spend years simply watching and observing. You know that observation is important. While doing this, you do not speak. You simply wait. During these years, you learn a name, Li Si. This man, who rose from the ranks of an ordinary bureaucrat, introduces you to the philosophy of legalism, an order in which the law derives its power not from morality, but from strict punishment. For you, this becomes not just an idea, but a tool of governance. By the time you turn 22, you have neutralized your rivals in the palace one by one. The time has come for you to rule the kingdom you inherited. Without wasting any more time, Lu Bue is exiled and never returns to the palace. You receive this news with composure. You are now the sole decision maker, and Li Si is your prime minister at your side. You rule the kingdom for many years and have now become an experienced king. By the time you turn 38, you conquer one by one the 6 kingdoms that have been devouring one another for centuries. In 221 BCE, for the first time in Chinese history, all the lands are united under a single ruler, and this is thanks to you. You decide to choose a new title for yourself, Qin Shi Huang. It means the first great emperor. This name is no coincidence. In your eyes, even the word king is now too small. Once the conquest is over, the real work begins, because for you, power is not just about territory. Power is about the system. When the 7 separate kingdoms are conquered, each has its own currency. When merchants travel from one city to another, they are forced to exchange their currency. You see this waste and unnecessary hassle, and you decide to change the situation. You introduce a single currency, a round bronze coin with a square hole in the center. Even today, the new currency you created is based on this design, which serves as the symbolic origin of Chinese currency. Weight measurements also vary from region to region. Grain sold by a merchant in one province is weighed using a different measure in another. You establish a single standard. Scales, volume measures, and units of length are now the same throughout the empire. Tax collection becomes easier. Trade accelerates, but the real winner is the state, not the merchant. Even the writing system is unified. The 7 different writing styles of the 7 kingdoms are reduced to a single standard. An official writing an order from one end of the empire to the other now does so in a language everyone can read. The bureaucracy now operates in a single language. You continue to successfully maintain your position as a true emperor by uniting these kingdoms. Roads are built. Even the wheel width of horse-drawn carriages is standardized so that a track laid in one region is usable in another. A road network spanning over 7,000 kilometers connects every corner of the empire to the capital. The army moves swiftly, the tax collector arrives quickly, and the emperor's eye now reaches everywhere. You are successfully maintaining order. In the north, you connect the ancient walls, which had stood in isolated sections against nomadic raids, and, not content with that, you also order them to be extended. The foundation of the structure known today as the Great Wall is laid during your reign. Hundreds of thousands of people are put to work on this construction project. Soldiers, prisoners, and ordinary peasants. Official records do not clearly state the cost of this labor, but historians note that countless workers perished under the strain of the construction. For the emperor, this is a cost, not a tragedy. It is merely a line in the ledger. A similar calculation applies in the south as well. Campaigns are launched into the Guangdong and Guangxi regions. Those lands are also incorporated into your empire. To solve the army's supply problem, you have your engineers dig a canal, the Ling Canal, connecting the Yangtze and Pearl River basins. This is not merely a military investment. The minerals, grain, and silk of southern China can now flow directly to the capital. More than 100,000 households are forcibly resettled in these newly conquered lands. The aim is to distribute the population, increase production, and make the border permanent. You are constantly striving to ensure the permanence of this magnificent empire you have established. Census taking also becomes systematized during this period. Every household is registered, and every man of a certain age becomes subject to conscription for forced labor and military service. Taxes are now based on records rather than estimates. The state's revenue becomes predictable, but it is the peasant who pays the price. Every man who leaves his land to work on roads, walls, or canals also leaves behind that year's harvest from his fields. And you achieved all this with what was, for your time, a well-organized bureaucracy and engineering. But you failed to realize that such rapid centralization of the economy would come at a cost: absolute control. You never truly liked the merchant class. You used them when necessary, but your real trust lies with the peasants and the soldiers. Sometimes you exile merchants. Other times you force them to settle in border regions. In your eyes, wealth is legitimate only if it serves the state. The palace becomes a hub into which all the empire's wealth flows. You have the wealthiest families from every kingdom you conquer brought to the capital. The ostensible reason is respect, but the real reason is control. Wherever wealth goes, power follows, and you want that wealth to remain constantly before your eyes. In this way, you continue to hold both power and wealth. You adopt legalism as your governing philosophy. The law is equal for everyone, but there is only one who writes the law. You are extremely strict in your reward and punishment systems. An official's success is measured, and failure is swiftly punished. This strictness keeps the empire's machinery running with extraordinary efficiency. But that same strictness also leads you to view everyone around you as a threat. You know, of course, that every good outcome has its downside, but holding on to power and wealth is more important to you. By the time you reach your 40s, you are now the richest and most powerful man in the empire. But at the height of your power, a new fear emerges: time itself. You know that everything you have achieved will one day be taken from you. Alchemists, dancers, and physicians are summoned to the palace. They all have a single mission: to discover the secret of eternal life. Expeditions are organized to the eastern seas. It is said that the elixir of immortality is being sought on legendary islands. None are found. You don't really believe in it anyway, but you're willing to try every possible means. This quest drives you to paranoia. After the assassination attempts you've survived, you have more than 200 pavilions built in the palace, along with secret passages connecting them. You don't tell anyone where you'll be sleeping. You can't, because to you, everyone is now nothing but a threat. One day, when you tell an advisor where you've been, and this information leaks out, everyone around you that day is punished. The person who spoke is never found. You do not trust your advisors. With Li Si's support, you make a decision. You order that all historical records, philosophical texts, and poetry, except for books on agriculture and medicine, be collected and burned. Hundreds of scholars who criticized you are severely punished for their ideas. The goal is not merely to destroy knowledge. The goal is for a single person to decide what knowledge is considered true. The only true history is the history that begins with your own reign. That is, you. Even as you approach the age of 50, you do not hesitate. You pour the empire's wealth into a colossal structure for your own eternal rest. This project actually began in the early years of your reign, when you were still a child king of 13, before you had even united the kingdoms. You had the foundation laid for your own mausoleum, an underground palace spanning hundreds of square meters, rivers and lakes made of mercury, thousands of life-size soldier statues, each carved with distinct facial features. You had it all built beneath the earth to ensure your power would endure even into the future. Approximately 700,000 workers were mobilized for this project. Today, the world knows this structure as the Terracotta Army, but at the time, it was the architectural proof of an emperor's desire never to relinquish control. With no new lands left to conquer, the state's treasury began to flow entirely into your own quest for immortality. You were now so powerful and wealthy that your only concern could be your health. In 210 BCE, while traveling through the country, your health suddenly deteriorates. Far from your palace, you spend your final days in a carriage on the road, and, like every human being, you close your eyes to life. Your advisors conceal the truth for about 2 months to prevent the news from spreading. Food is brought to the carriage every day, and they act as if you were still alive. To mask the odor, carts loaded with fish were placed next to the carriage. You, who had controlled everything for 36 years, were transported as a secret by your own court. During your final weeks, your will was altered. The throne passed not to the heir you had chosen, but to a son who was a puppet of the court's schemers. The empire collapsed just a few years after the disappearance of its founder. Nevertheless, the centralized system you established, standard currency, standard script, standard measures, is all bequeathed to subsequent dynasties and forms the backbone of China for 2,000 years. Yet, your name is also remembered as the reason your empire lasted so briefly. Yours is the story of a man who went down in history as the founder of an empire. But what is truly being told in the background is something else. The story of a system in which unlimited control ultimately consumes even the one who wields it.